like another character like in his shows. That's
very smart.
Well, thank you.
Speaking of smart.
Speaking of smart, when we asked you about what reality shows you like, you basically shit on the genre, and we're like, you have done that, and then you went, I watch a lot of cable news.
No, but no, not in like.
That's like a reality show.
I watch it like I'm watching it because I started watching it, and now I'm caught up in the drama of what like Nancy Pelosi said about Bill Fritz. He's retired now, but I'm in the gossipy drama of the DC social scene. But I watch cable.
So for you, it's like Real Housewives of Capitol Hill.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I wish it was based on something smarter than that, but it's not. I just like the.
You just accidentally happen to be really well informed.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's a good. Like, just because you say it in that tone doesn't mean that that's not accurate.
He's right.
He's right.
Right. You should watch your tone.
Believe me, I've gotten that note.
Well, what happened when I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened, and 2 weeks later I got mono, and that was also right after Tropical Storm Allison in Houston, Texas, so my bedroom had been flooded, so my bed was in the living room with the TV when every bit of, like, TV was 9/11. So I was just laid out for 2 weeks watching 9/11 on TV. So I just watched news for 24 hours a day for 2 weeks.
And that was your first sexual.
Yeah. Dude, Dana Bash on CNN the first time I saw her like, talking live from the Pentagon, I was like...
You know what's interesting about her? You're right to pronounce it Dana, because that's what her name should be.
Yeah.
But that's not how she says it.
Is it Dana?
She calls herself Dana.
I did not realize that.
Isn't that weird?
That's stupid.
That is weird.
It's beyond weird.
Because there is a Dana, and it's just got 2 N's and an H on the end.
Oh, it is
and
different.
it looks like Dana.
Yeah, sure.
You know who else in news with their name pronunciation makes me upset? Lashmi Singh on NPR. Because she, instead of doing the thing where she pronounces it like more ethnically, like some people do, she goes super white on her name.
Yeah.
You prefer she to throw it away.
Yeah, she's like, I'm Lakshmi. Like, she gets more nasal.
Yes. She should say, this is all things considered, I'm Lakshmi Singh. That's how she should do it.
I wish.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Man, you do that, now I'm listening. What do you got to tell me?
What are your cable news shows?
Hardball with Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
I love that man.
Yeah.
He's got a big face.
Yep, sure does.
I really like Chris Hayes. I think he's got some smart discussions going on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most...
Everyone's hard on him.
People are hard on him. I think he's the best at it. Like, as far as... Well, I mean, like, Chris Matthews is the best for, like, yelling and being insane, and I crack up and rewind and watch things he does over and over again. But as far as, like, just a thoughtful discussion about the events of today, Chris Hayes.
You're going Chris Hayes. You're going to Chris Hayes.
Yeah, I'm going CH.
Hayes, do you feel a kinship with him?
Why?
Yeah, dude, Hayes.
I thought you meant because of my glasses.
Oh yeah, you are wearing glasses today. One of us has to have glasses. How come you're wearing your glasses today?
Because you got LASIK.
That's not really why.
Yeah, it is. Because there's got to be something between my eyes and your eyes. You know what I mean? Something to just reflect the light a little bit. And when you take those glasses off, I have to put them on.
Too intense.
Yes.
I feel like if you were both wearing glasses, I would feel ganged up on. And I'm glad you're not.
We're going to talk about reality shows. What are we going to talk about? Teach?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to talk about Teach Tony Danza.
Teach Tony Danza was a fascinating...
That's your show.
That's mine. I watched there were only 10
There's 7 episodes.
There were only 7? It felt like 10.
Yeah.
I remember that when that came out, that sort of felt to me like, oh, this is going to be a genre. Tony Danza's gonna teach school. Whatever. Peter Dinklage is gonna be a school nurse or something like that, and they're just gonna keep going on.
Right.
You went from Tony Danza directly to Peter Dinklage doing the next
whatever the next thing was gonna be.
Was gonna be Peter Dinklage.
Travolta's gonna sling hash at some greasy spoon.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like Travolta, short order cook.
Yeah.
and just like a bunch of promos of him going like 86 to fries and then do the thing. We need a skillet, eggs
just
over.
That you could go on
ham
forever.
Yeah.
Cynthia Nixon being a street sweeper.
Yeah.
You do a season of each of these things, and then you just move on to the next one.
Yeah.
They'd all do it. It makes them look great.
It does.
He came off okay. No.
few weeks.
It was
few weeks out of your life, you know?
It was, well, because what happened was he set up the show as if, like, he got his degree in, like, teaching before he went into, like, amateur boxing and acting.
Right.
And he's very wistful about, like, the path not taken, which is such a weird thing to do about, like, yeah, the path not taken was the way easy, like, you had a degree, you could have just taught, there's no question that you could have just done it.
Sure.
You wouldn't have been good, but clearly that wasn't possible.
And you would have paid less money.
Way less money.
And that's why you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why that path didn't.
Yeah, that's why anyone...
path with less money not taken.
Yeah.
If only.
I never took my shot at the big time.
Yeah, exactly.
Teaching public school. Just like,
you held it in your hands,
to
and
be
you
clear,
threw it in the garbage.
I'm not criticizing public school teachers.
Yeah.
Certainly not.
We love them.
Yeah.
But also for Tony Danza to think he can just wake up one morning and decide to do it.
It's insulting. Yes, that's what. That was
the condescending. He's like, I obviously would have been a great teacher if I hadn't been forced to be a famous bad actor.
I am insulting public school teachers.
You are?
Yeah.
That's hard for me because a lot of my family are public school
My
teachers.
brother's a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister's a high school Spanish teacher.
At a charter school.
Mom's a home ec teacher.
But it's a wuss.
But it was like it was a bad show, man. I mean, it's a good show.
Here's what I read about the show. They said that they were making the show, and then midway through production, they pulled Tony Danza aside and were like, hey man, this is boring as fuck. The show's not good. We want to generate some drama.
Yeah.
And that he wouldn't let them do that to his guys.
Wow.
Like, he was like, you cannot go in there and start forcing these students to have interactions or try to, like, generate storylines that they don't want and manufacture stuff like that. And they were like, well, then we're not going to make the show anymore. And he was like, fine by me.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
And he walked out,
Wow.
and so that's why they only made 7 episodes, because they only had like half the footage they intended on getting. So they were just like, we're gonna make this into 7 episodes of the show, and then we're gonna walk away, because they initially, I think, were gonna make twice as many and film for twice as long and have a bunch of, you know, get footage of a fight happening and then the fallout of that and all that.
Well, in the latter episodes, you can kind of, like, there's one storyline in one episode where, like, a student has, like, stolen another student's, like, cell phone, I think. I can't remember what it was. And you see them, like, chasing each other down the hallway. And it just doesn't feel like that was a candid shot. Like, it kind of feels manufactured. I can't say that for sure, but I think...
Sure.
I think towards the last 2 episodes...
So they probably started to do it, and
Yeah.
then he was just like, no.
He did not lack sincerity in the show. The problem is that he's too dumb to know how to transform that into, like, actual positive action for the kids. Like, he wanted to be a good teacher, and then
His problem was just not knowing enough stuff.
Yeah, he didn't know how to teach.
Yeah.
He didn't know about, like, there was one...
He didn't know about books.
He didn't know about books. He didn't know how to open them. He didn't know what to do once they were open. What are these books? You pronounce it with the weird sound.
Yeah, every
So
time they said books, he, like, changed the subject.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, books?
Oh, books? Absolutely. Hey, do you remember 9/11?
He just jams a pencil into his hand and is like, oh, I gotta get out of here. I better...
I gotta go to the ouchie station. And it's like, you mean the nurse's office? To see Cynthia Nixon? Or, I'm sorry, Peter Dinklage?
Yeah.
There's also a episode where he just decides it's Silly Hat Day, and you're like, Tony, just teach these fucking kids some stuff, man. What are you, like,
Silly
what are
Hat
you
Day.
doing?
He starts teaching them to box, too, right?
Oh,
he gives up on books and teaches them how to box.
Oh, there's one kid who has anger issues, so he, like, who keeps, like, lashing out, so he's like, I'm gonna teach him to release that anger with boxing. It's like, that is like a really outdated form of thinking about
that always works. You're gonna teach him how to punch better.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him form to release that anger into another human's face.
Yeah. It also could work if you were going to be like a mentor that was really there with him for a long period of time, being like, hey, let's actually like, why don't you become a boxer and it'll only live here in this ring and I'm gonna like teach you how to be a man. But actually you're Tony Danza. You're gonna be there for 4 hours a day, 3 days a week for 6 weeks, and then he's never gonna see you again.
Yeah, you're gonna teach him how to throw one really good punches, and then you're gonna skip town.
You clearly have anger issues. Here's how you destroy a boy's face. I'm out of here. And then he just leaves town.
See ya! Rolls Royce pulls up. Jeremy Jackson leans out, throws on some shades. Hobie from Baywatch.
Okay.
He goes, let's roll, teach.
Why Hobie?
That's just who Tony Danza hangs with.
Oh, okay.
Like they hit the clubs together.
Oh,
I wasn't aware of that.
There's also a really great moment where it's the principal's birthday, and the principal is a black woman. And he goes in.
You can say that.
Yeah, I can. I have a pass for saying black women because I've met one. So he goes into her office. He's like, and he calls her Miss Carol, which is already like, oof.
Ooh.
So he's like,
Tony, please just call me Carol. Please, we're on television.
So wait,
Tony.
now I'm not positive her last name isn't Carol, but I guess when I was watching it, I was just like,
either way.
But he's like, I want to sing Happy Birthday to you, but I want to do it in a rap. So already you're like, oh, Tony, don't. And then he raps a Happy Birthday song that he wrote, and it doesn't even like have flow because he's like, Happy Birthday, Miss Carol. Happy birthday to you. Like it doesn't make sense. And then at the end, he does. I mean, no one will be able to see this because this is audio, but he does the
B-boy stance where
the
you cross your arms.
Yeah. Which, by the way, until very recently, I thought meant bitch boy, and I didn't. My girlfriend told me that was incorrect.
Wow.
I just had never heard.
How would you think?
Because I had never heard it in context because I don't pay attention, and I just heard someone say b-boy before, and I assumed it was an insult.
Yeah.
That meant bitch boy.
Somebody called you a b-boy,
so
and it really...
You're lucky you never said that around the super crew. The b-boy crew who won America's Best Dance Crew in season 2.
Yeah.
The super crew. You're lucky you never said it around them.
I'm lucky that I didn't do that. I am.
Because they would have tuned you up, my man.
Is that good or bad?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds like they would have made you a better dancer.
I want to get tuned up by these b-boys. If I say that to them, will they do it for me?
No. How do you want me to respond to a question like that?
Yeah or no?
People generally like you, Noah? People get along with you?
This is a thing we did at work the other day. It's a good medium burn, as we would say.
When I'm at work with Noah, if he does something like slides his chair really fast into a box in my office and knocks it over, I go, people like you, Noah? In general, people get along with you?
It's like a good.
There's no way to respond.
There's no way to respond.
Yeah.
It like I know we're joking and I enjoy it.
A bunch of people do.
But it makes me feel bad about myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have to think, do they?
I don't know.
I don't know if they do.
Yeah, am I batting over 500 on people I meet walking away? the good impression? I think no for me.
So what's going on for you, Noah? You're working on Workaholics with this chucklehead.
Yeah.
You doing stand-up stuff?
Sometimes. I did it last night. It was fun to do.
You want to plug that show you did last night?
Yeah. You know what? I do. It's every other Friday at the Lyric Hyperion Theater, hosted by Alicia Yaffe and Matt James.
Ooh.
It has a title. The show has a title.
Yeah, lay it on us.
Don't recall. But they definitely gave her a name.
And did you fucking crush last night?
Well, yeah, man. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I like that confidence.
Yeah.
That's not what I heard.
You used to run with Alicia and all those Emerson kids. There's a whole Emerson scene now.
They're building a new Emerson building like across the street from here.
Really?
Yeah, it's huge. Because they have like an LA program where you can come out here for your last semester of college, then like freak out about graduating, and then like sell your car like 8 hours before you move to New York. apart for 7 years.
Well, now we can all, like, we're already figuratively living in the shadow of Emerson.
Yeah.
And now we can literally do that.
Yeah.
Can't we, Sean?
We can actually literally do it. Now that they're building that building.
And are you doing Totally JK again now?
Oh, yeah.
You and Joe Mandy are out here together?
Yeah, twice a month at UCB.
Cool.
Yeah, come out and it's 11 o'clock on a Monday night, just when you're in like the most mood to watch like just a solid, usually hour and 15 minutes of comedy. Like you know, you're not too tired because it's Monday and you feel good and you just want to be out late.
Oh yeah,
come see our comedy show.
I hear you, man. I'm Sundays at 11 and. Boy, oh boy, is it a ripe time for comedy.
My favorite part is like 15 minutes into the show where you see about a third of the audience just be like, oh, God damn, I should have gone home.
Yeah, I should have gone home. All the time. When we're starting our interview part of the show, which means that we're at the midpoint at 11:50.
That's when you see the phones light up on the hips.
Yeah.
These people
I know are looking at their phones.
12:20.
They're kind of going, oh, I gotta work tomorrow, and they just got the specter of getting up hanging over them like the sword of Dan Cortez,
right.
You know, just sort of swinging over them.
Sure. That's what I'm saying. I cannot get 8 hours now. It's impossible for me to get 8 hours if I wanted to, and I'm stuck here.
Yeah, they start realizing that they're hungry, but they're just not gonna eat before they go to bed. Like there's a lot of
you stay up late enough that you're hungry. Yeah, that's your problem.
Yes.
And you're just
too hungry to go to sleep.
And on Sunday too, there's always like good TV.
Yeah.
So I feel like I see people realizing like I was gonna go home and watch Game of Thrones and then go to bed, but now I'm gonna have to be at work on Monday with people talking about Game of Thrones and not have
now
seen
I'm gonna have to get in bed at like 1:30, watch Game of Thrones on my laptop until like 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to do the show. Sometimes like you're bummed out that you're there.
About the same stuff.
I've never had that experience, but
because you get so energized.
Yeah, I wonder what that must be like.
I'm so fucking juiced on the energy of the audience and just the sharing experience that is performing live comedy. So for me, that hasn't gotten old yet, but I guess you're over it.
I've been at this a long time, Sean. You'll get there.
And then are you doing your funny tweets still?
Oh yeah. You can find me on twitter.com/me. Yeah, I'm just typing stuff, all fewer than 140 characters. I try to keep it under.
Yeah, you never do those 1 of 2 tweets?
No.
Like,
I mean, one time I did this hilarious thing where this is all I posted, just 1 of 1 and then 1 of 2 the next tweet. Like, each one got like 4 votes. But I was like, I guess you could say I won Twitter.
You 1 of 1 Twitter.
Mine's all...
No, like WON.
I can see how you would think.
Yeah, I get... Yeah.
I can see how you would make that mistake, Sean. Noah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on. I like you guys.
We like you too, man.
Thank you for listening. We're going to be back next week. Rate us on iTunes.
Yeah, rate us on iTunes.
Up in the forums. Slow week in the forums.
Slow week in the forums. People, I don't know if you weren't feeling it or if you guys are just really busy.
But it doesn't, either way, fuck you.
I don't give a shit,
man.
Go
to the forums.
Get the fucking forums. There's 6 of you. I can't get 1 post from each.
We need to get to hot status in the forums. Once it gets to 14 posts, we get a little button next to the post that says hot.
And speaking
we didn't
of
get the hot button this week.
I got a message for Erica Thompson.
Yeah.
No need to tell me you're primarily a Galmaniac. No one was asking you if you would be on our side in the Hungry Games between the Earwolf people. Just go ahead and just let us wonder or assume.
Yeah, say that you are, or don't fucking post at all.
Save that shit for the fucking Galmaniac forum.
Post.
Oh wait, you can't because he's not putting up new episodes like we are.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
So post a lot, but not that.
And thanks for listening, and
rate us on iTunes.
Rate us on iTunes. See you next week.
Bye.
This has been an Earwolf Media production. Executive producers Jeff Ulrich and Scott Aukerman. For more information, visit earwolf.com.
earwolfradio.com. The wolf dead.
Touch the iPhone.
You're like the 10th person to tell me that.
Hey! Hi. Welcome to the Reality Show. I'm Hayes Davenport. I'm here with Sean Clements. This is where reality doesn't bite. Yeah!
Money trees.
It is, we talk about it. It's very expensive to...
Very expensive that we play.
Playing that song, we gotta pay for it every single time.
Those songs, but...
This is a, what would you call it? It's like a radio show.
Oh, our show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a radio, but even better. Because you have to go and find it.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
And
there's no way to, like, if you want to listen to it in your car, you need to buy like a special
equipment.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
equipment. You could say it's free, but it's not actually free. Because you have to...
Not if you want to listen to it while driving.
The apparatus costs a lot that you would not normally.
Yeah, and even if you want to listen to it at home, you need a thing. You need a computer or something. So, it's...
And we talk about reality shows. Sean and I talk about reality shows. We don't watch a lot of other kinds of shows, or should I say we didn't.
Yeah. We found a non-reality show that feels real.
Yeah. Can I be honest? I barely had a second to spare to watch some of these reality shows this week.
Yeah.
Because I was busy.
I didn't see this week. I didn't see last night's Big Brother.
Right? Because that's become work. Yeah, it used to be fun for me.
That's become my job.
Now it's my job.
Yeah.
And what's fun is watching this show.
This new sort of underground, this punk rock renegade art show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna butcher the name. Orangey Denude Black?
It's Orange is the New Black.
That's right.
And the way I remember it is a little memory device. Orange is the new black, is the new hotness.
That's gonna help me.
Does that make it easier?
That's gonna help me. That's gonna help me remember it, because I'm always thinking...
Sure, we have to explain what it is, because nobody's heard of this show. Nobody's talking about it.
We found it, and it is, it's like you guys when you discovered, your little pet band, you know, when you find that, band that you're like, oh my god, no one else is listening to this, but it's so good.
Yeah, except this show really is good.
Craft, or your, whatever your indie, find was.
Except those things you just thought were good because they were yours, this actually is good.
Yeah, because you play that for your friend and then they go it's okay.
Right.
But this, if you played it for anyone else, they'd go nuts. Because they've never seen anything like it.
And you're thinking, well, I watch a lot of TV, why haven't I caught this show? Well, it's not on TV, it's on the computer.
No.
It's on Internet Flix.
It's Internet Tunes?
No, it's on Internet Flix.
Internet Flix.
And you just click on the name.
Click on the show, yeah.
There's a button with the name. And then click on that.
You watch.
And it watches it on the computer. And this show, God, how to describe it? is it a comedy? Because I think to myself, oh, it's a comedy.
Okay, I've had this argument.
Yes.
I've had this argument. Is it a comedy?
Right. Because I think to myself, oh, it must be a comedy, but it's not funny.
No, not overtly. Not in the show-offy way that some comedies are.
Right. And
I mean, it's never
like, well, it's not funny, so it must be like a drama.
Oh, but let me stop you right there.
Because it's also not that interesting.
Well, it's goofy in a way that a drama's not goofy.
Right.
But it's dramatic in a way that a comedy would be funny.
Yes.
So, what you wind up with is this mishmash hybrid beast of a piece of art that you go like, WTF? I never seen anything like this. How do I even wrap my head around it? And the answer is you don't. Just let it wash over you and turn off that brain. Because the Netflix will watch it back to back. It'll just start watching the next one right for you.
And you're going to come up for air 13 hours later.
Yeah.
And you're going to have this whole show in the bank, and you're going to say, where's the rest of my show? Well, you should have been watching it before, dummy.
Yeah. That's the thing. You should have been watching it before, dummy.
That's what I had to say to myself, because this show, I guess, has been around for
I don't know.
some amount of...
Nobody knows when it was made.
There's really no way of knowing.
There's no way to check in.
I checked.
It's not like a TV thing.
I checked Facebook and Twitter, and it's like...
And it's the
like
first
nobody's talking about
It's
this
the
thing.
first one to do this, where it's available on the internet's tunes, clicks, and so it's not a TV thing, and they've never done that before.
Yeah, they've never done it before.
And it makes me think that media is actually going to change.
I think media is changing, and I think TV is over.
Yeah, I think it's officially over, starting right now.
I punched my TV out.
I did too.
Because I said, I'm not going to need this thing.
I'm not going to need it.
Should we get into our bit of the dirty business of reality shows?
Yes, fine.
If we had all day, you know, we would keep talking about Orange is the New Black is the New Hot.
And we'll talk about it after this, and we talked about it before, and Orange is the New Black is the new hotness. I'm not going to forget that again.
This is a show that we haven't talked about at all, and is now basically over. Bachelorette. Like,
Simply the Best?
No, like Jet by Paul McCartney and Wings.
Oh.
Suffragette.
Oh, I don't know that.
Well,
Gentlemen.
We still gotta pay for it.
Okay.
Still goes into the
coffer.
Into the show
Out of the coffer.
budget.
Into the...
I hadn't been watching it at all. We talked about, Sean and I were jurors on the George Zimmerman trial. I was not able to watch the show at all while we were doing that.
No, you're not allowed to watch your shows.
But you brought in your little antenna TV, and you sort of had it on your hip with your one flesh-colored earbud in it.
I'm sneaking peeks. I got some mirrored glasses.
And so, here I am, sitting... I have nothing to entertain myself this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched this past week's episode, and it was great.
Really wonderful episode.
It made me really not necessarily wish I were watching this season, because it seems like they were all a bunch of dips, with one exception.
Yeah. There was one... It's odd when they do this, where the show's over the second it starts, because there's one mega star.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of dweebs.
If you've been watching the show, you know we're talking about Brooks.
The sex machine.
Desiree, the Bachelorette, has a so-called choice to make between 15 bozos and this one guy.
And one dream man.
Who
anyone would, if he entered a room anyone was in, they'd basically be proposing to him.
Yeah, and it sort of became a foregone conclusion from the very beginning of the show, because the difference between Brooks and some of these other guys, these other guys are like, they're nice, and like, they're very romantic, and they seem like attracted to her, I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard to put down like exactly what it is that is so weird about them.
Yeah.
But Brooks is like very withholding.
He's got that very attractive quality where he sort of seems uncomfortable being there.
Yeah. And that he can sense her interest in him.
Yes.
And he doesn't like
his
that.
skin is on fire with it, you know?
Yeah. And you just watch that and you're like, ooh, I gotta have a little of that for myself.
And part of what is so interesting about him being on this show is he likes being on TV.
Right.
But he doesn't like
Yes.
the woman
No.
he's on TV with.
No.
And so he's got this real
Because if he doesn't...
dilemma.
If he tells the woman that he doesn't like her,
He's not on TV.
he doesn't get to be on TV anymore. And that is very attractive to Desiree.
Yes, and I think the solution is to milk it as long as humanly possible.
I'm going to play one moment from earlier in the season that really brings out exactly what is so sexy about Brooks. This is, Desiree and Brooks are out together. This is actually from this last episode. They recapped this. They developed sort of a shorthand for describing their relationship. Here it is.
Brooks is one of a kind, and I love that about him. Brooks and I came up with an analogy of how to decipher our feelings for each other.
So adjectives which we like
Adjectives.
are
Stepping,
stepping,
skipping, running,
running,
and then finish line.
finish line. Once you're at finish line, then you're like, that's
You're
left.
left.
So
I
where are we at? I'd say we're
I'm
jogging.
going into a run.
I'd say we're jogging. You're going into a run.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I like it.
So where do you think we're at?
What do you think we're at? I'd say we're you're going to run. You're going to run.
Oh, you're going to run?
That's good.
That's good. I think that's really good.
Great moment. Why did he venture his answer when he knew he was just feeling her out? Like, why would you start?
No, this is why. This is why. Because he said, where do you think we're at? And then in his head he was like, oh, what if she says that, like, I think I'm almost at the finish line, or something like that.
And
what
he
if
goes-
she,
and he's
he's
thinking-
like, I need to cut this off, but it was too late. And so she said that she was breaking into a run. I said, I think we're jogging.
Because what actually happened for him inside is he was going, I'm picking out shoes. Like, I'm picking out athletic shoes that I might be able to run in. And so he goes, but I have to up that a little bit. Like, I have to add some steps to that in order not to be rude.
Right.
And so I'll say that I'm skipping. No, I'll even go jogging.
Right.
And this is a nice middle ground where we can meet.
Yeah.
And he was already
really,
saying.
I'd say he's loping. You know?
He's shuffling.
He's shuffling.
He's pretending he's got a cramp.
He's going somewhere.
He's going. I mean, he sort of walked
Not
off to the side.
necessarily.
He's like heaved over, like leaning on the fence, sort of like, you go ahead, I'll catch up. You go ahead, I'll catch up. But he's not going to catch up.
No.
He's going to hop the fence.
That's what he did. Finally.
Finally,
he
I had
said,
fence.
he said, okay, it's me. He finally admitted to himself what he'd known for a long time, that I'm the guy that she's going to pick. If I get out now, then I'll have been on TV for every episode except one, and it won't get to the point where I'll be supposed to propose to her and I'll, like, leave her at the thing or whatever.
Won't have to propose, yeah.
Yes. So now is the time to leave.
Very smart. And if I can whip up a couple fake tears,
Yeah. And so
all the better.
And so he tells her that he's just not feeling it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now are you quoting TJ?
yes.
Here's a fun thing.
Okay.
You add right now to it every time, but TJ
I know.
said right.
I only realized it last. Rewatching the episode. It was the only time I realized that I've been doing this. So he tells her that he's not feeling it, and they drop the music. It's like a 20-minute unbroken conversation where, you know, they let you just watch her
Yeah. It feels like
take this in, and you watch her expression change. It was crazy. It was one of the rawest things I have ever seen.
yeah.
And it made me think, any doubt I ever had in the reality of this show or any show was gone. It was the realest shit I've ever seen.
It was so fucking great. She drops her whole thing. It's crushing, and it's also, you know, many of these reality show contestants sort of seem like they're 35, even though they're 25.
Yeah.
But in this moment, she becomes 15.
Yes.
Like, she just is like...
She's sitting in her...
He's going, you know, when we're together, it feels really strong, but then when we're apart, you know, I'm not so on fire with, like, missing you. And she's like, you feel like we lose that, what we have? And he goes, I feel like we lose it. Yes. She goes, that's sad.
Yeah.
And the way she says that's sad is like, oh, you're a child.
And then Brooks ends up getting a little more than he bargained for. He was kind of expecting, I think, to tell this woman who had fallen in love with him on television that he was not interested. And she would say, okay, like, I understand. You know, you would
say, like, well,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm glad you told me now and didn't keep going if it didn't feel right.
I'm gonna have to tell these other two guys that I'm not interested in them. The show is over. But, you know, we all have to look out for number one. This is, I think, how Brooks was thinking this was probably gonna go down.
But you think he knew that he was gonna be the winner?
100%. Yeah. And then she starts to cry.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. You have to listen very closely.
Excited for special party.
So at the end, he leads it. She's crying, and he kind of leans into her ear, and he goes, "Why are you crying?
Why are you crying? It's supposed to be funny.
We're on TV.
Don't cry.
That's right.
If you cry, I have to cry, and I have no feelings in me about this to make me cry right now. So I'm gonna have to cry in the limo later, and it's gonna really look like I screwed
I'm
up.
gonna have to go get my clothes from the ocean, and then I'll come back and I'm gonna be like, I'm crying, okay? Because you didn't tell me that you were gonna do this.
He's really panicked. Like, he wants to be crying so bad once he sees how much she's going. Cause he's like, I'm gonna look awful.
So when he says, why are you crying? He's really being like, why are you doing this? This is not.
And then he really works himself into it later. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It was great TV.
Anyway, that was a very sincere discussion of a great hour of television.
Really almost no jokes from us because it was just that.
You really gotta just check it out.
Yeah. Every once in a while, one of these shows just pokes straight through.
Yeah. It's not easy, especially for you.
No.
No human has ever gotten through there, but sometimes a show does.
A show occasionally will get in there.
Challenge.
Yeah.
It was a good episode of Challenge. He says like it was ever a bad show. Like you could ever do a bad show.
My favorite show.
This week, God, a lot of stuff happened. Sometimes, I guess what we really want to talk about is sometimes on the show, they find ways to put something that, you know, like mere straightforward language wouldn't really cover.
Well, we talked about this a little bit. I mean, look, Des and Brooks had a running analogy. Howard had that great ants and grasshoppers analogy last week.
Yeah, analogy.
I'm sorry, yes. And frequently, we don't know what the F these guys are talking about because a lot of it goes over our head. And they will break it down for me in a way I understand, and the challenge was doing it left and right this week.
Yeah, they tell you something that's going on in the form of like a simile or a metaphor that you have
an analogy.
An analogy. So you just get it.
Yeah.
An example, Jordan was talking to John A., friend of the show. They've sort of developed a little connection, little physical connection. You might say they're vibing. And Jordan sort of lays out for John A. what he's about.
There is definitely a physical attraction between myself and John A. I'm like the Great Gatsby. Seriously.
If you couldn't hear, he says, I'm like the Great Gatsby. And she says, what the fuck does that mean? And he says, mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Which shows, for one thing, he read that book.
Oh, yeah. Cover to cover.
He understood it.
Mm-hmm.
Because The Great Gatsby is mysterious.
Well, it's a mystery novel.
Yeah.
It's a mystery novel. I believe Agatha Christie wrote it.
It's about trying to figure out who is the Great Gatsby.
Yeah, you don't know through the whole book.
It's a bunch of people invited to a house.
Uh-huh.
And this butler comes in.
The butler says, one of
you is the Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
And they have to figure out.
And they figure out, well, is it a girl? Is it a boy? Is it... And the answer is, it's a mystery. The answer is they're all the Great Gatsby.
They're all the Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good message.
Right.
That Jordan obviously learned, and Janae, friend of the show, girlfriend of the show,
didn't know that about the Great Gatsby, but now she does.
Now she's being educated.
There was another moment in the elimination challenge this week, where they had to carry this big bamboo pole through a series of stand-up bamboo poles. It was like a maze setup.
Yeah.
And Preston sort of explained how this challenge worked in a way that, you know, just like if you weren't there, you wouldn't really understand, but now you sort of do when you hear how Preston describes it.
This bamboo pole is like trying to navigate a fat woman through a grocery mart. It's just not happening.
Okay.
And then you're like,
because I'm watching it and I go, I don't know how this would feel.
Yeah. And then you say, oh, well, I've seen a fat woman at a grocery mart.
More than that, I've tried to navigate one through.
Right. And if you've ever done that, you know it's not happening.
It's not happening.
It's just not happening.
Well, that's why they're so fat. They can't get food at the grocery mart.
Right.
So they have to eat all McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's like that's why obesity is an epidemic in America.
What I've seen is, you know, these fat women who are like the width of a grocery aisle. Mm-hmm. They try and get in there.
Yeah.
And they're stuck.
Well, I'm trying to navigate it in their exterior.
Yeah, of course. And then, so you know how they get stuck, and then you know that the only solution is for them to eat their way out.
Yeah.
There's no other way to get them out of the grocery mart.
Yeah, if they're in the bread aisle, they're putting down 15, 20 loaves just to make enough space for themselves to get out through the exit.
Sure.
And I've seen that.
And it's a vicious...
But would you agree that a lot of them have to eat McDonald's?
Yeah, a lot of them do have to eat McDonald's because if they go to the grocery mart, they get stuck.
Yeah, that's what 30 Days of Super Size Me is about.
Finally, in the jungle itself, the challenge was gonna be for these girls, Cara Maria and Cook and Jasmine Teresa, to strap themselves to this wire cage that was connected to 8 car batteries and be stung by electricity.
Yeah, by volts of electricity. Yeah.
And so you're thinking like, oh, it seems like it would hurt.
Yeah.
But how would it feel?
Yeah. Well, Cara Maria is gonna make you more comfortable with the idea.
Here's Cara Maria explaining how it feels.
I actually have a battery pack, and I put that to my nipples. What does it feel like? Little needles. Okay.
The most harmless thing in the world. The most painless, just gentle sensation, and you can see Cook relax. She eased
That's
it.
a huge load off her shoulders because Cara Maria is trying to make Cook feel better about going into this thing. And she's like, listen, I got a car battery at home. I hook that shit up to my nipples every GD day.
Yeah.
It feels like little needles.
Like little needles.
Going into my nipples.
Yeah. Little needles tearing into the flesh of my nipples.
And like, it's just like, there's some needles on my nips. You know?
Big whoop.
It's not a big deal.
What else is in the news?
And so then Cook is like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here I was.
Got the appropriate reaction. She was afraid it was going to hurt.
Worried about this. Yeah.
And that's that.
That's the show.
That's the show.
No, that's not the show. We got a guest.
Oh, yeah. Craigie D.
Greg DiGregorio, Mr. Deegs, writer on Workaholics. Writer-producer. Not a big social media presence.
No, you're not going to find him online.
Not on Twitter. Not, he's not on the stand-up circuit.
Don't go looking for him.
It's not because he couldn't do it.
No.
He doesn't want to.
He's post-bit.
He loves Big Brother. He has 2 children. Doesn't stop him from watching.
Doesn't stop from watching
150 episodes of Big Brother every week. Plus After Dark. He's gonna be in right after this break.
Went to this Italian restaurant. Have you been to one of
Like the country?
No, it's like in the United States.
Okay.
But it's like pizza sauce and spaghettis and all
I've had
these.
pizza sauce on pizza.
Yeah, this is different though. It's like pizza sauce on spaghettis, which are these like long, sort of wobbly. Anyway, not for me.
Welcome back to the show.
Hey,
we got a guest. Craig Gregorio.
That's why you said Craig.
I don't know why you asked us to play that.
Craig insisted we play the beginning of that song. Tell us the name of that track for anybody who wants to download it at home.
That's Money Trees. It's off Good Kid, Mad City. We paid for the rights, just to accidentally play the beginning of that song.
People don't understand how much we invest in the show.
That's why you heard the ad. We need you to donate to the show. We're strapped.
Gotta make up some of that money.
We're accidentally playing a lot of expensive songs.
Yeah.
Craig, you're a writer on Workaholics. You have a lot. You're
writer producer.
You've got a lot of credits to your name.
Couple. Worked on a bunch of stuff.
Couple credits.
I want to say Reaper.
Workaholics. I worked on Reaper.
I want to say
Workaholics.
Yeah. What else?
Workaholics, Reaper. Ali G Show.
Oh, that one.
Oh wow. Dave and Steve's Video Game Explosion.
Video Game Explosion.
Yeah.
Check that out online.
I feel like you've written some League stuff.
Everybody Hates Chris.
Everybody Hates Chris. We pushing some Joey.
Oh boy. I'd prefer not to.
All right.
Yeah. And you're sort of an historic guest in the show's history because I think you are the first guest who has heard the show before.
I've heard the show before.
Who has actually listened to the show and then appeared on it. So this must be very exciting for you.
And this is exciting. I thought the room would be bigger.
Yeah, sure.
I've heard, say, 70% of your episodes.
Okay.
They're all pretty good.
Thank you.
They're pretty good.
Thank you. That's very nice.
I try to tell people, like, Abby won't listen. It's my wife.
You asked her.
I think she would listen to us talk about Big Brother.
Be all for her.
I feel like us talking about Alyssa last week would have been right up her alley.
Sure, she would have loved it. I think she listened to an off episode on a run or something, and it wasn't for her.
Left a bad taste in her mouth.
Yeah, it really wasn't for her.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, any idea which episode?
It was an early on one, because I was an early adopter, and I wanted to sort of get her on board fast.
We didn't find our voice until, I would say, last week.
Yeah, I think so too.
Last week was a good show.
Last week was one of our strong ones. It was the strong one. It was the one we were happy with.
Yeah.
It's geared especially just for me because I listened to I watched the 2 shows that you talked about the most.
Well, especially now because we didn't used to watch Big Brother, and you were.
It was in my ear,
Sean's
every
ear,
day,
especially.
being like, you have to watch it. You have to watch it. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
And now I love it. We talk about it every week.
And
It's our favorite show.
The same comment about like it's 3 episodes. I can't commit that much time, and then you realize
Not enough.
it's not enough.
Not enough
I
episodes.
need to watch After Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta get on them feeds.
Gotta get that live
You can
feed.
find me in the feeds.
Catch me in the live feed room.
Did you like from a couple weeks ago where McCrae got his birthday spanking? And he said, last year on my birthday I was just watching the feeds. Now I'm in a live feed getting spanked. This is the best birthday ever.
Yeah.
That was more Judd.
I feel it both.
Why in a one piece though?
Yeah,
You know?
In a range one.
If I wanted to do something hot for my husband, it wouldn't be in a
She's
one
acting
piece.
like they have infinite like clothing options available in that, and she's also like acting like they're not on a TV show where you aren't really gonna be so sexy. It's gonna be a little bit of a goof.
Yeah.
If Amanda had brought in really, really sexy lingerie, something's wrong with her, right?
That'd be so
That would
weird.
be much stranger.
And I just didn't know that about One Piece is that I guess they're for poor people?
And they're disgusting.
Yeah.
Apparently. She looks good.
I thought she looked great!
Great. Just look at a person.
Just kidding. I might throw up.
That was probably the meanest thing that's happened in this
Yeah.
year's season.
And then you know what? You know how America responded?
Including the racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I have genuine questions. Are you guys cheering for anyone in particular this season? Because I feel like past seasons, there's been a clear cut, like, that's my guy or that's my girl. And this season, I don't have one. I'd like to
I
see
do. I walk away. Yeah, McCrae would be great. I like McCrae a lot. I actually like Amanda. I like Candace. I'm rooting for Candace.
She has a rough road ahead of her.
I know, she really does. Everyone hates her. They won't really say why. She doesn't really seem to. They call her like a time bomb waiting to go off. That's what airs.
I don't get.
Yeah, no, well, she
She's
hasn't
like a
really
very nice
shown.
person.
Yeah, she hasn't really demonstrated any of that.
Also, they keep saying how Howard is this amazing competitor and he can't do anything.
He has
He's
to
never
go.
won
We
anything.
have to. He couldn't even fail a competition on purpose.
Right.
When he tried to throw a competition, he couldn't even do that. He has never won or intentionally lost.
Right.
He's never done anything set out to do.
Yeah, I think that McCrae is basically the person that I would be least upset to see win.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your problem with him, Craig?
I don't have a huge problem with McCrae. I just don't like him very much. He's fine. Like, I'm the one I cheer for, but I don't feel great about him.
Yeah.
Whereas past seasons, there have been people I feel great about.
Right. And do you feel like this is a strong season?
Very good season.
Yeah.
Not a lot of likable people.
Yes.
Do you feel a little like, because I feel like the audience has really expanded with the show getting in the news.
Right.
It's drawn a lot more people. Do you feel like, well, this used to be your little secret?
I still feel it's pretty much there. Not a lot of people watch the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it is hard when something that you love to a broader audience and then you feel like you're not a real fan of this.
We were talking about that earlier with Orange is the New Black. It's kind of our...
We had discovered it, and I don't know if you've heard of it, but
Yeah.
it was kind of this underground thing that I think they made it for nothing, and it was
they
at
just
the
said,
time I
let's
was
put it out there,
for like a bunch of no names, and it
Yeah.
got and it was put on Internet Tunes, Internetflix, and nobody knew about it, and we discovered it and just binged. I mean, the whole thing in like a day. And
I barely came up for air.
I like to stuff on my television, so I can't with that. I like
I was like that, and it does ruin a lot of it. But it's just so fucking funny.
But it's not too funny. No, that's what I really like about it. It sometimes seems like it has a chance to be funny, and then it says, not. Let's hold off on that a little bit.
Not too funny because it wants you to still care.
How's
Right.
this?
It's not a
world
cartoon.
real?
Not too
Not
real.
so real that you can't have any fun.
Right.
Because I like to be involved in shows where the main characters are a bit odd. The world is real.
Yeah, you'll notice that on the show that we work for is the world is very real, but the characters are just slightly
smidgen off. Just slightly off.
And the world just has to react.
Yes, the world is to them. Yes, the world is dealing with their strangeness.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, you brought up the racism, bringing up our audience, and we on this show, we've done a lot of defending of one particular cast member and tried to put some context. We felt like the show was painting them in an unfair way. And this week...
Oh, you're talking about Judd. I reported that.
They actually crossed a line where I said,
Yes.
I can't believe I was on this
Right.
side.
Yes. Well, no, because we have defended Aaron too, for all the, the supposedly...
Yes, that's not what I was
No,
referencing.
but for the racist stuff, but just what I thought was weird was that everyone has gotten so up in arms about all the stuff Aaron said, and then Judd said this thing past week, and I'm expecting, I heard it, and I was like, oh, this could really be big trouble for the show. You know, I believe it's illegal to say it on TV. That's what I thought too. I thought, you know, because it's live, you know, maybe it slipped through and live people edit these things so quickly, and I thought somebody is gonna pay for this the next day. Yeah. And I haven't heard word one about
you. You might have heard this, Craig.
I'm gonna play
this. I'm sure no doubting it.
I'm gonna play the clip. This is Judd on this week's episode of Big Brother.
Now that we've randomly selected our teams, I walk in the backyard and it looks like it's been turned into a police station. You know, I'm not much of a detective, I'm more of an FBI, female body inspector.
I don't know where to start. How do you, with a straight face, sit there and just bold-faced lie, claim to be part of one of our nation's most hallowed traditions? You denigrate the whole institution of female body inspectors going all the way back. You make it a joke. You make it a joke. Yeah, that's exactly right. Because I know that I have had personal experience. I've had men in my family who were actual female body inspectors, some of whom who died on the job, who passed away. Yeah. And I don't like to get so serious. And nothing offends me. Nothing offends me. They're just words. Of course. I'm frigging Lenny Bruce up here. Nothing offends me, but that offended me. Yeah, I mean, a female body inspector saved my life. Yeah. Seeing that woman, and we were on the boardwalk in Myrtle Beach, and we were approached by a female body inspector, and he inspected me, gave her a couple squeezes, and she didn't pass. I had no idea that this was going on. The woman I was with. Yeah. And they just carried her away, and I thought if you would have known, because if I had been with her, you're not in the profession, and and people think, okay, well, what if Judd really was? What if he never wore the uniform? Yeah. He's claiming it, but he never wore it. No.
I used to volunteer as one. That's how I met him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that, or it's?
I'd like to. Okay. I mean, I used to do it for the neighborhood. I used to live in Los Feliz. I've since moved, but I used to do it for the Tracy Street Neighborhood Watch.
Okay.
I've driven by that station house.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the thing. I'd just go out. It was weird because there was school around, so I steered clear of that. Sure. But any other people walking around, I'd make sure to just inspect and see that everything was tip-top and,
And the whole neighborhood, just knowing you're there, it makes the whole neighborhood feel safe.
I feel safe. I feel safe because I've been in that neighborhood. I feel safe.
The men feel safer.
Yeah. And then you're watching your favorite show. Yeah. You hear Judd, one of your guys.
How good are you? I mean, how offensive is that?
That's what really turned me around. And
I would have said he was my pick, who I was most likely to see win.
Absolutely.
He was the smartest guy there.
Yeah. The smartest and the funniest. But then this joke is no longer in the funny area, and it's in the hurtful, offensive area. Yeah. And anyone out there who is laughing, if you have a mother, a daughter, a sister, if you have a bikini calendar on your wall, a girl leaning on a hot rod poster, then you should really take a good hard look and think about what it means for him to lie about something as sacred as being a female body inspector.
And anyone who came to the defense of Asians, black people, other people who had been marginalized because of the show,
who had been insulted.
How dare you?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be on the disclaimer at the beginning of the shows now about people impersonating.
Yes.
Officers, people that represent our country.
I would hope.
And you can expect to see him.
For sure. I would hope so too. I want to keep watching the show. I like the show. I want to keep it. I need to have to stop watching.
I don't know if it's worth it because I get too upset. I physically get so upset that I didn't sleep that whole night. I didn't eat the next day.
Yeah.
And I don't want
want to get too graphic, but I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
For a while.
For a while now. Are you still I was trying before when you came in. I was trying. That's what that was.
Yeah. That's what happens when people are mad.
Anyway, but it's still a good show. I don't want one man.
It's a fine show. Don't let this be the thing you take away from this. Sure. Let it be the racism. Let it be whatever else is out there.
Mm-hmm. You did watch the feeds for a while? Sometimes you watched them.
I watch a lot of After Dark.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's not on WG. It used to be on Showtime, and before that it was on something else.
And that is just...
It's really...
fucking.
It's not even the fucking.
Yeah.
It's really just people... It's boring. It's
okay.
really boring.
Yeah.
I don't suggest anyone does it, but sometimes what's on it? It's just people talking. Sometimes, like this season, that flip over the bed thing was on the After Dark, and it kind of ruined it.
Sure.
Because that was my little thing. Like After Dark's my little thing right now.
Yeah.
Because people are too into the show.
Yeah.
So
that's
now
your
I'm kind of an After
OITMB.
Dark guy. Yeah.
OITMB. Either way, it doesn't matter. I never used to have to abbreviate it because it was just mine.
But there's a lot of just straight up people in a room talking. Not a lot of cuts to different things. It's not edited like a TV show. It's just like you're watching a live feed for probably like 2 minutes. And usually it's just people talking about nonsense or like how they have nothing to do.
But they do sort of cut to wherever the
conversation
is going in the house.
I think unless it's something that they're going to use on the show. Unless it's something that they're like, this is too good.
Oh, we got to cut
away. Save this and cut away to like Jeremy in another room. And
the Jeremy.
I miss the Jeremy.
He's a champ. One of the great things about the show is how they always show the person's job when they flash their name. So it was always Jeremy, boat shop associate. Every time they put it there. And I just think of Jessie at this point as Jessie unemployed.
Yeah, she's unemployed. Also, but I mean, a couple of them are now like Gina Marie unemployed.
Yes.
Aaron unemployed.
Spencer, they're trying to fire Spencer. It is not easy. They did not start.
I think they still list their job that they've since been fired from for being racist.
I was reading about Spencer, who said all that stuff about how Hitler was a good speaker, and the Mengel's experiments were actually really good for science in general, and I mean, he does believe that 6 million Jews were killed, someone would have stopped it. Doesn't make any sense.
And nobody tried to stop
all the stuff about how there were no Jews in the towers on 9/11. He went on that whole thing.
Sure, yeah.
Is that just like a...
All of Canada believes that.
Is that...
There are a lot of 9/11.
Oh, that's really a thing? Oh, okay. But he's a train conductor, and they're trying to fire him, but it's really hard. It's really hard.
If he's unionized.
Yeah, he's unionized, and it's virtually impossible to fire him for talking about how great Hitler was on TV.
Take the opposite stand on that. Like, I don't care how many people say how good Hitler is. I think what he did was wrong.
It's not really the place of the show.
We don't take sides.
I just want to point out that was Craig. That was our guest, Craig DiGregorio.
Opinion
saying that.
Yes. Because Craig says a lot of controversial stuff. Now, he just the other day was saying that he believes that, but he believes that Louis C.K. is one of the funniest humans on the planet.
I don't care who it alienates either.
Okay, well, that's I respect your right to have that opinion. A lot of people fought and died for you to have opinions like that. Whatever weird things you want.
But I see that stuff crop up on Twitter every once in a while, and I'm going, "Jeez, bub, who's there to fight with?"
It's people trying to get attention. No, that's right. But it's people who, they say they just want an really inflammatory and just want an argument. That's a way
reaction. Any attention is good attention for you, even bad.
You would admit that.
No, that's true. Like, I'm going to go out and make people sort of like take me on.
Yeah. You find people's weak spots.
You dig. You wheedle your way in so far that people are just about ready to punch you, and then you see how fast you can backpedal, and they let you get away with it because you do it with a smile.
Thank you. I take a firm stand on that at work too, and I get a lot of people coming at me hard.
Well, I believe you were the first person to say that he's very funny.
Yeah, this is this is my new thing too, Louis C.K.
Okay.
He has a show.
Do you know about him?
I remember Lucky Louie. He has another show?
Yes. And Craig found out about it.
I found the show.
Okay. Oh, so this is like your Orange is the New Black for us.
Basically,
something
yeah.
we're trying.
It's still early. Not a lot of people know about it. It's about him.
Is it funny?
It's about him.
Is it funny? Does it make you like laugh out loud?
It's really funny. It's really dramatic.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you like that genre.
I like shows. I like funny shows, but I don't want to laugh. Will I like this show?
You're gonna love it.
Okay. I like just to think in my head, oh, that's funny. But if I'm laughing, click, the show's
See you later, TV.
You're flipping away.
I'm very
If I'm laughing, I'm not learning.
That's right. Every time I laugh, I'm so because it means that I'm missing something. Like the moment I spend laughing,
there's a line you can't hear.
There's a line
There's a visual you can't take in.
lesson I can't
That means
get.
it's too funny, which is why I like Orange is the New Black.
Wasted calories.
Because I think that's funny.
Oh, yes.
I'm not gonna laugh,
Very much.
but it's funny.
Never laughed once.
You laughed at some of your own stuff.
That's true.
Yeah,
Some of
but-
my stuff I like. Some of my early stuff I really think is very funny.
You can't help it.
Before I found my voice.
Yeah.
Before I found this sort of niche I'm in now.
Yeah.
Where I can be funny without ever making anyone laugh. Thanks for coming by, Craig.
Thanks so much for coming on the reality show. What should they do?
Please do rate us on
Rate us on iTunes. Here, what we normally say is rate us on iTunes and post on the forums. But now, a third thing that we've been asked to say is give us money.
That's right. Go ahead, shell out some cash.
Give us some money to do something that you thought you could enjoy for free.
That's right. How much would you say a single episode of our show is worth, Ace?
You mean like how much do we make off each one? There's the per show fee, and then the residuals.
The residual as well as the
residuals.
And then merch, multiple bumps, yeah, all the merch.
Character stuff, like when
character payments, yeah.
Yeah, when they use our character.
And just
other
licensing,
shows. Sure.
A lot of proprietary technology that we've devised for the show.
Yeah.
The ability to play
Give us money.
We want money.
Or we won't do the show anymore.
Give us money or the show will go away. Bye-bye.
Bye. This is just for me. You're pitching me to give you money.
Executive producers Jeff Ulrich and Scott Owen. For more information, visit earwolf.com.
Earwolf Radio. Boom. The wolf dead.
So, same experience as you. I'm being made to wait. I just go, forget I'm not going anywhere. I kick the door in and I go, Lauren, we do it my way or we don't do it at all.
See, I wish. welcome to the reality show. I'm Hayes Daxter, here with Sean Clements. God, I mean, should we talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not going to air until Tuesday.
No, it's such a long wait. There's no way I'm going to keep my mouth shut that whole time.
Okay. This is where reality doesn't bite. It's a podcast where
Podcast, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you know the drill. Sean and I are very excited, very honored.
Yes.
It's mid-August, so you know what that means. It's Teen Choice Awards nomination season, and Sean and I, we made a little push. I wouldn't say we
No,
we were
I
forcing
was
out
very tasteful.
deadline ads, the one for your consideration billboard, and turns out we ended up with a pretty good haul for nominations this year.
Yeah, we are not supposed to say anything, but we've gotten some phone calls, and should we start with the duo ones and then we'll do individual? Because there's we both got, and then there's the ones that we each got on our own.
Yes, let's get this out of the way. Choices podcast. Sean and I are up for Choices podcast. People said it was a foregone conclusion. We didn't want to take that for granted.
Not at all. I've been shocked before. I've definitely been surprised unpleasantly.
But we did make it in, and also congrats to Totally Lame, our fellow nominee in that category. It's a great honor to
congrats to Glitter in the Garbage.
Yeah. Congrats to Glitter in the Garbage. Also in the mix. CDB next year.
Yeah, better luck next time. I think what you guys are doing is really funny.
Yes,
but
we get it.
The mainstream hasn't seemed to catch on yet, and so that's just the way the cookie gets broken.
Yep. So keep going.
So next for us, best on-screen kiss is Hayes and I have a really funny YouTube video we made where it's two straight guys trying to get out of the army. We did it right around that time of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
This was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was. I might say
because of this, and then the drill sergeant's like, well, if you really are homosexual and you believe the army, then you better kiss. And then we're like, sick. Whoa. And then we kiss, and then we throw up into buckets, and then we go, never mind.
Sean, once again, nominated for most YOLO tweet what were the ones that you submitted this year?
The tweets that I submitted?
Yeah. 3 tweets every year, I think. What was one of those?
I sent in one where I was like, barista just asked me what my name was, and I said Cornelia.
Yeah.
She's flipping. Hashtag YOLO.
And you had that Snow Patrol one. That one.
That's right. My Snow Patrol tweet.
Yeah. Which was everyone's talking about Snowden. I'm sitting here trying to talk about Snow Patrol.
Yeah. I'm sitting here trying to talk about Snow Patrol. And then my most recent tweet, more bad news for my haters, just tried out a couple of fucking awesome. And then you had top hashtag. Top hashtag of the year, right?
Yeah, I had top hashtag of the year. And all these nominations are in the form of hashtags also, obviously, just get that out of the way. I had top hashtag of the year, which was Gmail probs. And it was me complaining about different things about Gmail. I take issue with.
What would give me an example?
I don't like how it's hard to search for all my unread Gmails at once. I have to kind of go all the way back through them.
Yes.
When I'm trying to clean up shop.
Thank you. Somebody's speaking up for the people.
It doesn't all have to be. It's not all jokes.
No. That's a very real problem.
I think that's a mistake a lot of people make with
No, a lot of mine are not jokes. I haven't made a joke on there in a while.
Yeah.
In fact, some people took it as a joke. I don't want to hear about Snowden anymore, and I do want to hear more about Snowden.
Yeah, you were sitting there trying to...
I like chasing cars quite a bit.
Yeah. So, thanks to all of you, all the teams, you couldn't without the team mode,
and it feels really, really effing good.
What do we want to talk about?
Yeah, it's over. I want to warn you up top.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of the context of what happened.
It was hard to do certain things. I very it was a wild finale. A lot of back and forths, like Sean is saying, sometimes hard to really know what was going on. I put together kind of a supercut that sort of summarizes basically what happened in the finale.
This will be good to catch me up.
In the two finale episodes. So let me play that now.
I can't believe this fairy tale is happening. Antigua is one of the most beautiful romantic places I've ever seen.
I feel like she deserves to know as quickly as possible. So despite the fact that I'm such a beautiful place, tell her how I feel.
I am so lucky to get this tonight. Antigua is so beautiful. And I'm so excited to be staying at the Veranda Resort here in Antigua.
Here in beautiful Antigua, she's the woman of my dreams, and this place is like heaven. This place is beautiful.
I can't even focus on this amazing view because I'm figuring out what I need to say to Drew.
So that's sort of how it went down over the last couple episodes. She, I guess, was
something with a guy or two guys. She liked him. She liked one.
She liked one, and she was trying to get that guy to
do something. I couldn't get the way they're gonna say it because the location they're shooting this, I believe it's pronounced Antigua.
Yeah.
Is so beautiful.
It's such a beautiful place.
It was drowning out. I couldn't hear anything because I'm just looking and I'm blown away. And I was watching it with you and with my girlfriend and with some of our sort of Hollywood friends, David Dobkin and Kenny Chesney and Elian Gonzalez and a lot of our friends. And I just kept turning to you guys and saying, I can't believe how beautiful Antigua is.
It really is, like you're watching the dates and like the rose thing, and then somebody was crying.
Yeah.
But the backdrop of the bluest water, you didn't know that there was that color of blue in nature.
No,
maybe in a box of crayons.
Yeah, and only there. But it turns out it's somewhere else. It's in the waters of Antigua. And the name of the resort, was it Veranda or something?
Yeah, it was the Veranda
Resort
in Antigua.
And I remember I turned to you, or maybe it was Elian, and I said, I can't believe this fairy tale is happening to me, that I'm watching this beautiful of a setting on my television.
I thought
I got the big screen.
Oh, I thought your television was broke. Because
I thought it was in some kind of screensaver.
Well, that isn't real. That place couldn't exist on Earth. That place could only be in heaven.
Or in Avatar.
Right. So I checked the remote.
Yeah.
And I tapping the screen, and
you're pounding on the side of the screen.
And then you kept checking. It's real.
You kept unloading the DVD tray because you were going like, is Avatar in this? You were going, is Avatar in this? Where's Avatar? Where's your DVD? And then you needed me to show you the case and that it had the disc in it because you like still couldn't believe that it wasn't, I don't know what you thought, an invisible disc, because you were like, this looks like Avatar.
Well, and that's because I've seen a lot of Blu-rays. And I've never seen, there's not a Blu-ray in the world as blue as the
blue of the water of Antigua.
Antigua.
I couldn't believe that fairy tale was happening to me.
And so, you and I, and Elian and Kenny and all the guys, show a lot.
Kayak is the website that we know about where you can find really great deals on flights and accommodations.
Yes. And
for people in the flyover states listening to this thing,
the packages available to Antigua are out of this world.
Holy Christ, I couldn't believe how affordable it was.
Flights?
Like, no wonder they filmed it there. This place is a friggin' bargain. And it looks like goddamn heaven and or Avatar world. So I'm like, how are we not there already? I want to do the podcast from there.
Yeah. And it's made everything I've done since then a little bit worse.
Yep.
You think that your life is hard and that you're having a good time, but then you know about a beautiful place called Antigua.
Yeah.
And the guys, I think they won.
Something.
I think the guys won.
Maybe. Yeah. Was Elion drunk?
You know what? I thought the same thing. Because it seemed like he was trying to play it cool.
Yeah. I mean, look, we all were having a bottle of wine.
Sure.
But he just, at one point, got up to go to the bathroom, and then, like, he was for a sec, like, he, like, turned one way and then looked back, and I was like, oh,
he sort of clipped the door frame with his shoulder on the way out.
Yeah, trying to play it off, yeah.
And then he was gone for a very long time.
Yeah. What other show?
The other show was The Challenge.
Oh, boy.
Cool week, The Challenge.
Yeah, very good week.
You know what? This was one of my favorite episodes I've ever seen. And this is one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
So I think this might be my favorite thing.
Yeah, my favorite thing that I've ever seen on television.
This week, there was a plan to put up so the girls vote for the guys. So there was a plan to put up the rookies this week.
Yeah.
Zach and Trey, two really strong guys, got into the jungle this year.
Yeah, I think they went to the jungle.
They got in the jungle, which is the elimination place.
And it was very unfair.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. Before that, the girls were voting out what guys to put in. There's a plan to put Jordan, the rookies, in. But a couple of the girls say, we don't want to ruffle any feathers, so we're just going to throw away our vote on these guys we really like. So Leroy and Ty.
When you throw away a vote, you cast it for someone who's
never going to go in.
There's no world where anyone else is possibly going to vote for them.
Yeah.
You do it when they have 0 votes, you throw 1 on them, and then everybody else is going to get 2 or 3 or 4 and then have to go in.
Right. So Teresa and Jasmine, Teresa's in a relationship with Leroy.
Yeah, they are committing sex acts.
As Jasmine said a bunch of times in the episode, fucking. She ran around the house screaming that they fucking.
They fucking!
Teresa says, I'm just gonna put up Leroy and Ty. No one else is gonna vote for them. It's a throwaway vote.
Yes.
She didn't know Leroy this ahead of time, so he was a little upset, but it's a throwaway.
Yeah, he's like, normally if my name's gonna come out of your mouth as the person you're voting for to be eliminated,
you might say that ahead of time.
You might say, hey, I'm gonna throw it away, I'm gonna use it on you.
Sure.
To which I would say, hey, don't fucking
Please don't do that. Please vote for anyone else. Someone that you do actually want to go home. But anyway, she throws her vote away. She's a very early vote. And then it comes down to Nani and John A. They also really, like, Leroy's like family to Nani.
Yeah, they were on the same season.
They were on the same season.
Always looks out for her.
They're really close. So she's thinking, everyone likes Leroy. No one's gonna vote these guys out of the house. I'll just toss them a vote too.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Teresa throw it away on him. Why don't I throw it away on him?
That seems like a good idea. I'll throw away Leroy also. Now, Leroy and I have more votes than anyone else.
That's right.
They only need one more vote to go into the jungle with Zach and Trey. And then it comes to DM and Anissa.
Yes.
DM does not really like Leroy. She does not have a great relationship with them. She was worried that Leroy was going to go to her next week.
Wes is convinced convinced her that Leroy's going to vote her in next week.
Yeah, and it's become very easy for her to put Leroy in the jungle because Leroy's two closest friends in the house have both voted for him, have thrown away their votes, just sending him in. So she gives him the third vote that puts him into the third piece of vote. And Nani and Teresa. What? How did this happen? How did Leroy's our best friend? Why are they so mad at Dia? They're so mad at her, even though they were 2/3 of why Leroy is there at all. They made him the vote leader.
Yeah, the solution, if you track it back, was very easy. It was to not say the name of the person you don't want to go home as the person that you are nominating to go home.
And the guys just cannot believe this happened.
Leroy, once again,
Leroy's a friend of the
handles
show.
it.
He's a very good friend of ours.
He handles it like such a champ where he's like, this is weird.
Yeah, he's like, I forgive him, but
He's like,
it was
look,
very weird.
It's
that
a
they did.
game, no hard feelings. I can't fucking believe that my name just came out of your mouth and your mouth. But let's go in, let's compete.
Yeah.
It's Zach and Trey who won the first two challenges outright.
Yeah.
And you're sending us in against them, so that sucks.
But then, you know, I was really scared for them going into the jungle. It's really hard to compete with Zach and Trey, except on a mental. On the mental field.
There's a
it turns
physical
out.
element.
Yeah. But the mental component of this one was that there were a bunch of like little obstacles they had to pass through to get down this tower. They had to alternate, and instead Zach did basically every one of the obstacles.
Like Trey does 1, Zach does 2, Trey does 3, Zach does 4, but instead Trey did 0, and Zach did like 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Forgetting, as somebody pointed out, that they are on a television show. There's a person standing next to them with a camera at all times.
Yes.
And Zach tried to claim that he didn't do.
I've seen people eliminated on technicalities before too, and sometimes it is like BS. But this was not.
Not at
this
all.
This was just very clear rules. And what I like about Zach is the grace with which he handled both winning when he thought he won and losing when he realized he'd lost.
Yeah, when he thought he won, he threw his helmet as hard as he could.
In celebration, he whipped his hard helmet at a balcony full of people who were not looking at him to see if he whipped his helmet.
No.
And I guess he hit Jordan,
a handicapped guy.
Jordan's in the worst position to catch.
Not easy for him to catch things. One of his hands was kind of a stump. And he did that because they're all a bunch of bitches, is what he said.
Yeah, they're all bitches, and so I think, why not throw your helmet at a man with one hand? You won. You earned the right.
And then he is told that...
He's told that he lost, and I go, oh, this isn't going to go well. He was so happy about winning, and he was had such a vibrant, sort of lively reaction. But he, totally in stride, just says...
That's clearly not what happened.
That's clearly not what happened. This is bullshit. I think he might have called them bitches again.
Yeah. That's really sad because his sister had a baby.
Yeah, the most powerful connection I've ever seen anyone feel to a baby that you're definitely gonna see in a few weeks.
Yeah.
He like wanted to be at. Like he
Do you
wanted
want
to
to
watch his sister give birth.
Well, that was the thing, because he was talking to his mom, and she was like, well, none of us were actually in the room, but we were all, you know, we were kind of around to support her and stuff.
I get being very
I think
anxious.
he just wanted to be there. I think he wanted to catch that thing.
Right, because of his arena football days.
Yeah.
But I get being anxious to like meet the baby, but to be sobbing over the fact that you weren't there on the day was a surprise.
Sobbing and then having some kind of physical breakdown, like an ulcer or something, because your sister had a baby, where they have to call in.
They have to call
paramedics.
Yeah, a paramedic to go.
You don't have a fever.
Fine, dude.
You seem to be
You're
okay.
like, I think you're bummed.
But then prior to all of this, there was a thing with Wes.
Yes.
The very sad moment with Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Where Wes was upset because he and Teresa used to hook up a few challenges ago.
Yeah, for half
an episode. And now Teresa's with Leroy, and some of that went on in Wes's bunk.
Yeah. 3 years later, a girl who he made out with on a pool table once is
fucking
now
another guy on the
dude
top bunk.
on the bunk above his bed.
And so he's in kind of a vulnerable place already because he has a normal body now, which he's kind of ashamed of.
Taking steroids.
He stopped taking steroids very visibly, and he's taken a little heat for that around the house, I think, because he just looks like a strong guy now.
Yeah, he looks like a fit guy, but not a
instead of like a weird body guy, and I can see why that would make him a little sensitive to people in the house.
I'd feel like shit if that ever happened to me, if I ever had to stop pumping
If
my
I had to
juice.
just be strong.
If I had to stop juicing.
Yeah. So he moves out of his bed, moves into a different bed, and the other guys in the house make fun of him for being sensitive, I guess, and they make sort of a Wes effigy.
Yeah, they get like a broomstick and they like label it as Wes, and they put like his shirt on it or something.
They put a shirt on it, and the head is like bright red because he has red hair.
Yeah.
And then they did something.
Got him.
Which I hate to say was very funny. These things have to be. It was mean. When you use these things for humor as a joke, it can really hurt somebody, but I think it's also like the funniest thing you can do.
Yes.
I'll play the clip for what they did to the West effigy.
Yeah, but we're moving back in.
We should just put hashtags all
Oh, hashtag I need friends. I don't want to support that.
They put hashtags all over the bed.
The concept of using hashtags
outside of the Twitter sphere.
Yes.
Like,
oh yeah, just in life.
Yes.
Just written on a bed to use a hashtag as a humorous thing.
They can be so powerful.
They can ruin somebody's life.
And it's, like, hashtag I need friends.
I'm not gonna be able to look at Wes for the rest of my life without thinking hashtag I need
It's like
friends.
that hashtag is burned on his forehead now.
I'm gonna bust up. Yeah, for sure.
And because we'll go around casually burning each other with hashtags.
Very lightly. And I compliment you with hashtags a lot.
If you kind of like spill your OJ a little bit, you like hashtag drink much. Or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But not like, like just kidding, and I hope you clean it up and stuff.
Yeah, like hashtag JK, hashtag hope you clean it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I never want to go.
Always soften it, but they didn't do
And I'll
that.
send you a little hashtag I'm sorry card. When I say something like that. But
absolutely.
If you just leave something like that out there, it can really.
You need to do the cleanup. You need to hashtag I'm sorry. You need to hashtag JK, hashtag hope you clean it up, or whatever it is, or hashtag you probably really do have friends. I just haven't hashtag met them yet.
Sure.
That would clean that up because they should be used in a positive way.
No. Right. You there was a time when we were doing the show, I was looking at my phone a little bit while we were.
Oh yeah, and I gave you a little ribbon on that.
You wrote down on a slip of paper hashtag it's called professionalism.
Yeah.
And you kind of slipped it over to me, and it did it brought me back.
Yeah.
But it also did and you did hashtag apologize for that afterwards. Which
I said hashtag that was a little much. Yeah. Hashtag I'd really prefer if you don't look at your phone very much. And he says hashtag I need you here with me, but hashtag our connection is a lot of what makes this hashtag.
And I put it hashtag I get it and hashtag
hashtag it's dead. It's buried. Hashtag it's over. But no reason to hashtag bring it up.
You can see how Wes how that did hurt Wes a little bit. But there's that moment right after when they brought Wes in.
Yeah, and he got to see some of those hashtags.
You got to see the hashtags.
Yeah.
And you can hear.
You can hear his heart break a little.
I'll play it.
What's up, you
I left for 2 seconds and all sorts of harshness came out. I've never been called low self-esteem before. That's definitely a first.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough for any guy to go through, especially a guy like Wes.
If someone calls me low self-esteem, I'm hashtag busting up in the bad way.
Yeah.
I'm busting up in the bad way.
Right.
Busting up tears.
Yeah. And I love to see you bust up.
I only want to bust up positively.
Right.
But I'm busting up with laughs. Like right now, even just thinking about having a good bust up of laughs, that is making me bust up a little bit. But to go the other way, negative,
Yeah.
and bust up tears, that's sad. And to see Wes go through that, to see him bust up that way,
Yeah.
that busts me up.
We're gonna bust out a little break. When we
Yes.
come back, Kevin Biggins is in the building. He's a stand-up. He's a writer on The Family Man. He loves Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks premiered this past week,
And that is technically a reality show, so we go talk about it.
You guys hate football. We don't care.
We love it. We're sport heads. We're jocks.
Yeah, we're big sport heads. So when we come back, Kevin Biggins is here to talk about Hard Knocks on the Reality Show Show.
So I call my contract. And all escalators in my house. And I'm gonna buy it for the week.
Yeah.
Sick of it.
Yeah. See, I did the same thing, and they give you a quote for that, and it's like, okay, that's a little
all these
reasonable.
Yeah.
And then once they're done, then they give you
Well, we had to do this, and the way the drywall is lined up, it's
should
just
be
like,
in jail.
yeah, it should be illegal.
Welcome back to the Reality Show Show. We have a guest, Kevin Biggins. Yay! House of Biggins. Yeah, right?
Yep, that's right.
B to the I to the G to the G to the I to the N. You remember that show?
No.
House of Biggins?
House of
Biggins?
Gin Liguizimo?
Yeah, Gin Liguizimo.
That was a show?
Yeah.
Spelled with my last name?
Well, it was House of Buggin.
No.
No one has
I
ever,
get it now.
no one has ever said House of Biggins to you before.
I get Baggins, Frodo Baggins.
Yeah.
That's funny. And also the magazine that Biggins is from Married with Children.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You guys are probably too young for that.
Like it's about tall,
no,
magazine
I'm here,
about tall guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big and tall.
Yeah.
2 G's.
Biggins is a stand-up comedian. You probably know him as Mr. Boopla.
No.
He did. It's sort of your alter ego
That's right.
that you can just like slip in and out of.
Yeah.
Seamless.
Yeah, seamless.
Right in.
Yeah, you put on a new
Soapy
skin.
water.
You
Soapy water.
Yeah, you like turn around on stage and you're like, if Mr. Boob watches it, it might be a little like this.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and you are Mr. Boob.
Yeah, I just look like 10% more like a scumbag. And that's how I transform into him. But it doesn't take much. But I'm not even supposed to be talking about him because I'm going to get in trouble
Why?
from the fiance.
Oh, that's right. As
That's fine.
Yes, as
Yeah.
we said, Kevin's also a writer for The Family Man.
Yeah.
About to be a family man himself.
That's right. Well, not yet, but
About to be.
I'm about to be a husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different kinds of families, Kevin.
I guess you're right. That's right.
In a way, this podcast is a
It's
family.
sort of. It is a little bit like a family.
Hayes is the daddy, and I'm the mommy.
Yeah, and
Kevin's
they're
our
old,
son.
and then there's
Yeah.
old Grandpa Engineer Frank,
Grandpa Frank, drinking whiskey.
right?
I'm getting married to a gal, though. I'm switching it up. Getting married to a woman.
Oh, a Gail.
Yeah, a gal.
Yeah. What is your wife's name? Would you like to?
Corby.
Your wife to be Corby.
Corby, yeah.
Like
Corby Biggins will be her name. It's
like Corby's
it's a
Dreamland.
fun name to say. Yeah, exactly.
Corby Puckett.
Yeah, Corby Puckett. Sure.
right, I'm Mark Hard. Left-hand Peter. You've crossed the border into Hard Nation. All right, help me get rid of this coffee machine. Come on, Pete. We gotta throw it out.
Why? This wasn't even your viewpoint anymore.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. I can still be a strong, proud, intellectual liberal with a...
Yeah, you can put in words.
But I think that the idea that giant mega corporations like Keurig can come in and say what we can and can't talk about. Could you imagine?
What? What are you talking about?
Keurig is saying that is trying John Hannity, who I'm not a huge fan of. I think he's not that smart.
You bump against that? That's a problem.
Yeah, I think that he looks at things in kind of a reductivist way and sort of talks in a very declamatory way.
I would imagine someone with the depth and subtlety of understanding that you have would be a
So they pulled their advertisements from his show on Fox, and they pulled their advertisers from his advertisements, and then they put up a thing that said, we do not support his stance on Roy Moore in the Alabama Senate, who, of course, has been accused of dating teenagers.
Worse than that.
Yes, now just as of now, worse than that.
What?
Last week it was just dating teenagers. Now it's
Dating
worse.
a girl in the courthouse, telling her mother, I'll watch her, and then inviting her to his house?
Yeah, I know, it's awful.
That's not dating.
That's what they said. I'm just using their words. So, but here's the point. I don't like Roy Moore. I don't think he should be running for Alabama Senate. I think he should step down. I stand with Mitch McConnell, the rest of the Senate Republicans, when I say he should stand down, sir. But also, though, we need to stand up to, as he stands down, we need to stand up to Keurig and all these giant corporations that are trying to control what we say and what we think.
How are they trying to control what you say and what you think?
Because advertisers...
They're expressing the opinion of an organization which in no way has any bearing on you whatsoever. Also, I think those machines grow mold and are bad.
Exactly. So we can both agree that Keurig is bad.
I'm not going to give you this.
So they have these little cups that you put in there, right?
Are you going to explain what a Keurig does right now?
So, all right, listeners, if you've never used a Keurig, it's a pod-based...
Then please take me away from this place.
It's a pod-based coffee
go
system.
Almost anywhere.
It's a pod-based coffee system.
A crawl space in John Wayne Gacy's house.
Ooh. It's a pod...
It's not a good place.
Just to imagine just being there.
What?
I don't know. It's just he's making history.
I know you don't know.
So if you went back in time and you were there when he did all his bad stuff, would you stop it?
Making him stupid.
Would you stop it if you could? So anyway, the point is...
Would I stop him from being a party clown and killing a bunch of little kids?
Yeah, how would you stop it? How would you stop?
How would I...
If you could go back in time, and stop John Wayne Gacy, would you straight up kill him? Because then you could go to jail, or would you trick him in some way that or would you try to educate him?
I'm not going to answer that question.
All right. So the point is with Keurig is that this company, which is foisting its pods,
educate him on what?
About how not to kill. That you shouldn't kill children.
Man, you're rotten. All right, keep going.
So this company has been shoving pods down our throat.
They do create a lot of waste.
So much waste.
I'm not a supporter, but I don't care about what they did to shove.
And I'm an absolute.
That's a person who doesn't have two brain cells to click together, and he has a private jet. So,
and I bet that there was a Keurig on it. That's true. There's probably one of those nice.
Maybe it's
one of those nice espresso makers.
Just Twizzlers.
Definitely a lot of Twizzlers. That man loves Twizzlers. So they're trying to. I'm an activist. And the Keurig company is trying to destroy the First Amendment.
And The Sopranos, when Phil Leotardo gets killed and then his car rolls over his head.
Oh yes, yeah.
I would pay someone to do that. Oh my God! So I didn't have to listen to that.
Do you think that happened to you? Would it hurt? Would you feel pressure, or would it just be like a Phil Leotardo? No, but is it happening? Oh, is he already dead when it happened? Because he gets shot in the in that.
And then it rolls back.
Is it season 6? Yeah. So we need to stop big coffee. So listeners, if you are in your office, right, and this isn't about supporting Roy Moore, which I do not. And this isn't even about supporting Sean Hannity, which I do not. I do support the First Amendment. So listeners, take your very possible.
Wait a minute, this is the First Amendment argument.
The pro-First Amendment argument. Because
It's
anti because we don't think they should be able to say what they...
I'm not comfortable with carving up people to they.
Thems. So take the bombs and flush them down the toilet. We're flushing Keurig today.
Don't ruin
Keurig. Flush it down the toilet. Yeah. Keurig. Be courageous. Be courageous. And flush your Keurig. Well, this is exciting. We have someone that's going to talk us through some very complicated ethical issues involving Donald Trump and something called the Emoluments Clause in the Constitution. Very complicated. We have sages mull on this. Sages mull on these kind of questions. And he's going to be here and walk us through.
You're like an actual human burning of a dictionary. Every word that comes out of your mouth is like the burning of a dictionary.
Sage.
He's so angry.
Richard Payne is very
man on the bench, he looks furious.
Yeah, he looks like he's just yelling at an intern.
He looks like he's constantly crouched in the position of sort of jabbing his finger forward.
Well, we're going to have him in the studio today, and he's going to talk us through the Emoluments Clause and whether or not Donald Trump has been breaking the Emoluments Clause.
What a word for saying that phrase.
I'm waiting. What, do they give awards for radio shows? I go on their Reddit all the time. A lot of great minds there. When we return, Richard Painter, One Heart Nation. Pete, I describe myself as a real flake Republican. I've been standing up. I'm a corporate Republican. I've been standing up.
What does that mean to you?
That means that when things are bad, I call them out.
Always done. Shouldn't that mean when things are bad,
is it running away what they're doing? Yeah. So break this down. By not running for the position that they have of power, right, and going and retiring, you consider that running away?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to educate myself.
A welcome addition to your repertoire.
I'm trying to educate myself.
Yeah, I would appreciate it so much.
Because I was a big Trump guy. Yeah. But there's parts of me that still thinks Daddy's good. So,
Daddy.
There's parts of me that like, Daddy.
I get the call. Daddy, can I go on the trip? Remember that? Sometimes, according to him. Daddy, can I go with you?
Well, I'm trying to understand and educate myself as to them and the Jeff Flakes and the Corkers of the world.
Okay, there.
But I'm trying to be woke. So
please don't fuck.
I'm so woke. I'm more woke than a Starbucks barista that's had too many shots of espresso.
Oh boy, did we take the long way around on that.
So we have in with us the former ethics chief, the chief lawyer for George W. Bush. And his name is Richard Painter. And Richard, you are setting out a constitutional case.
Yep, that's right, yep. That's right, I'm suing him currently in New York. It's the Citizens for the Responsibility and Ethics in Washington versus Donald Trump, as we presented oral arguments last month in the city of New York. We are awaiting a judge's ruling in sometime, hopefully within the next month or so.
So what exactly are you going after Trump for?
Emoluments clause.
Oh my god, you
emoluments
scream so quickly.
I don't understand. What is an emolument clause?
Please don't explain anything.
You don't want to go into the
I would love to get it.
I would love to.
Go ahead, Richard.
Well, it's essentially a bribe by a foreign government. That's a shorthand for it.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
So he was bribed.
He's money from foreign governments. Every single day he keeps It's opened at Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C., and it's just a cesspool.
Yeah, have you ever been there?
No, I've never been there. Have you been there?
No. I wouldn't go to anything to do.
Lord, I would walk
What's
in.
your favorite hotel?
My favorite hotel? Courtyard Marriott. I'm
Courtyard
fine
by
with
Marriott. Now, what's the difference between a Marriott and a Courtyard by Marriott?
that. Well, what's your... Oh, I don't know about that. I thought you were going to say between a regular Marriott and a Courtyard.
Okay. What do you think the difference is?
Well, say the two options again.
Courtyard and Marriott. And it's just a regular Marriott.
No, well, one's got a courtyard.
Oh, okay. That's what they're selling.
There could be a pool there as well. I don't know.
So you're basically saying that just because of the fact that Trump is a hotelier, and that's really the reason I voted for him. I love great hotels. I love great hotels.
Yeah, I suppose you would have voted for Paris.
I mean, I would consider it.
Oh,
Richard Bender is hilarious. Would you have voted for Paris Hilton?
Of course not.
So
get your head on straight.
She was mostly famous for the White House ethics lawyer. That was her coordinator, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I don't know. What?
I remember having to explain that sex tape to my daughters, and it was very embarrassing.
Why did you have to explain it?
Because they came in and they're like, Paris Hilton, what's happening? Everyone's sharing this video. Yeah. And I'd explain how infrared video works. Right.
They'd already seen the video.
They'd already seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you brought it up at dinner one day and said, kids, sit down. Let me tell you about a dirty sex tape that Paris Hilton's made.
Well,
they already heard about it.
That's not inaccurate. I was at dinner, and I brought up that video of that woman having sex, and they were all, that piques their interest. Oh, so you're saying you referred to it sort of in the general, and they were curious what they went and looked on the internet. So someone that has a business, how would they run for president? Because it's good that we have business people in the White House. Like George W. Bush was a businessman. Your boss, your former boss.
Yes, he was at one time, yeah.
Good one.
Nope. Didn't do a great job running the Texas Rangers, I'll tell you that much. Still haven't won a World Series. Houston Astros won one now, though.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations to the Houston Astros.
And what happens when you're running for office and you own a business? You divest from it. What you got dang do.
Now, what is a divest?
They made Jimmy Carter sell his dang peanut farm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, what a shame. I mean, it didn't last right. So, say for example that he sold his whole damn business and he was out 3 years.
Well, yeah, I think maybe his brother was working it and he was a dang idiot himself, but I'm not sure. But the whole issue was Republicans made him sell his peanut farm. They didn't want anybody unduly influencing the president by buying peanuts.
That's true. If all of a sudden there's peanut butter sandwiches, how do we know he's not getting paid?
So if that's a scandal, how about the fact that the dang Sultan of Brunei breaks the whole 12th story of the Trump hotel, and is down there buying $4,000 bottles of wine in the bar all night. Wow. Yeah. What's lying in Trump's pockets? That's lying in his pockets.
Expensive wine. So it seems as though is there anyone else doing anything about this? Because it seems as though no one has. This is the first time I've really heard about Trump's business deal. What? No, it's not. It's the first time you've actively chosen to listen. It's the first time I've heard of it. It must have slipped by. You are really representative.
I mean, come on. You know he's a failed steak salesman, don't you?
I actually have tried those steaks, and they're pretty good. No, you got food poisoning. Well, I don't know if I got the food poisoning. No,
where did you get the steak?
Earlier in the day. Wrong. He ate chop steaks for 2 weeks in a row. And then I was at the in the hospital, in the ICU. Okay, so let's get started.
Where'd you get your hand on those steaks? It was while the company was still going concerned.
The steaks have been gone for a long time. But what it is, there's a few Trump fans that have taken some of those steaks and they deep froze them. Oh. And last year during campaign, I was fundraising for Trump, and I was able to raise $130 at a silent auction. And the thing that I gave him $130 to stop it is what happened. So I said I would eat Trump steaks for every day for.
Oh, so it was like a dare. One of those, like one of those. The fat guy tries to eat 10 pizza on the food network or whatever.
Yes, it's still a dare if you dare yourself. Yeah. Well, but I did have that ceviche, so I don't know if it was the steaks or if it was the seafood cooked in citrus acid.
Well, I suppose it could have been either one.
I don't know. Yeah, that's science. That's science. You're the only one really going after him for this emolument thing. Do you think that there's a chance that something bigger? Or do you think this is a sort of slow and steady situation?
Well, what do you mean by get about something bigger?
Do you think that he'll be able to say there's someone enacts the 25th amendment?
Oh, you want the possibility? Yeah. Well, sure. The big batshit crazy, of course. Yeah.
The 25th amendment
It could be because you're cuckoo. It could be just for any reason that I believe it's 3/4 of the cabinet votes that you're unfit for whatever reason to serve as it could be cuckoo or any other reason that they deem necessary. Yeah, that's a possibility.
What's your favorite cereal, Mr. Pig?
My favorite cereal of all time has got to be Captain Crunch. That's why I don't eat it. I had to have the roof of my mouth resurfaced when I was a tween, yeah. So I don't eat it anymore.
Your soft palate, they put like a new layer of skin on it? Your soft palate or your up top? You're up top. I'm not a doctor, I'm an artist.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they did. I mean, this is in the 1980s, and they were using some.
Did you ever have crunch berries?
No. Yeah. They're very good as well. Yeah.
And then Richard Painter was the first time I've seen the mention of crunch. So you famously said of Nixon. Yeah, Nixon was a crook. Watergate job.
That's right.
That's what you still think of Mark Rutte.
Yes.
Did you think
Well, yes, I did say it. I think I make a point that Nixon was no good. He was a crook. I'm glad he got out of RC and resigned before he got impeached. But the danger to the nation was not nearly as great with a situation like Nixon, just pulling dirty tricks, and compared to collaborating with a foreign enemy. And that's the situation that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, that's the resignation of Richard Nixon, one of the things that sort of prompted you.
I think it was in my younger days. Yeah, I think it
What were the other choices? What were the other roads that maybe you would have turned?
Oh, you mean
What were you up to in the
Well, I played saxophone in the school band.
There was an instrument. Do you have a saxophonist that you especially admire?
I'm not familiar with
Is that a Simpsons character? That's
Simpsons character?
Yeah, it's Lisa Simpson in season 1.
I didn't know him. My inspiration was always mainly the sax solo on Baker Street, Jerry Rafferty classic.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's got that very memorable sax line and solo.
I feel as though, no offense, because you're a sax.
All right.
I feel like I've been wanting to say this for a long time.
I'm not stealing myself up for a person to be offended right about that.
I have trouble enjoying some albums from the 80s because I'm loving the songs. Bruce Springsteen, I'm having a great time listening to it. And then all the songs 2/3 of the way through, that sax just explodes into the song. It's too much sax for me.
And you find it intrusive.
I find it intrusive. There's no sax. There's very little sax in the song. Yeah. And then it just explodes. I think that's good. I like it. Oh, you like the sax? Things are really going to get wild. Because that sax
it's a featured solo instrument. That's gonna be. Well, I put the challenge to you. I don't know how you did it yourself, but why don't you go ahead and write a song wherein there is hard sax straight through playing it.
I'll take that challenge.
Yeah.
I'll take that challenge.
Well, I would listen to that too. I'll tell you.
It's hard to sing over the saxophone because the saxophone sounds like a human voice.
Yeah.
The saxophone sounds like a human wailing. More than a drum does.
That's, yep. Sure, absolutely.
The drum sounds. So if not an ethics lawyer, maybe would have been a saxophone.
Maybe played saxophone in a pop band, yeah. But I guess there's not much call for that anymore. Not much saxophone popular music. That's a lot of EDM. Yeah, it's all just computer beat-pop music.
EDM.
I don't care for it. I don't care for one bit.
You're in a dance party.
I mean, I've danced at a party before.
Okay.
Sure. You're talking about it. No, I've never been that. I never.
I don't know if I am rings or not. But because I went to Burning Man this year, and the whole thing feels like a big old dance. But I stayed. I didn't stay up all night most nights. I was because it gets very hot.
Probably no one to hang out with you.
Well, I kept being like, let's meet at 7:45 and Fire, which is going to be across the streets, and no one would show up. And I didn't find
I can't imagine.
Richard, saxophonist, ethics lawyer, anything else? Because you seem angry. I mean, you're really angry at Trump, and I am too. I mean, I think it's justified. But it seems like you have a real fight. Was there anything else you were really passionate about?
Oh, I mean, I was, as a youngster, I was interested in also subjects in school. I was competitive in school, so I did good grades. Sure. I think that's what led me out of law, all these other things. Taught at
How's that? You like Fargo?
that's in North Dakota. No, we did geography.
Do you like Fargo?
I saw the movie. I like the movie quite a bit. The TV show. I haven't really watched the TV show. No.
The TV shows are all the seasons are very so it's Fargo refers to where the crime took place.
Yeah.
But then in Braden, where does it take place?
Yeah, Braden, Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
think.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
You ever watch a TV series?
Yeah, I haven't.
Aaron Clothing in season 2, Kieran Clothing is trapped in someone's garage. Very funny.
Oh, wow.
He's bleeding out.
Is it a
Really
comedy?
unbelievable. I don't think it's
dark comedy.
I think it is a dark comedy.
All right, well, we got to go to a commercial.
Gene Smart, family watching.
When we come back, I want to dig more into the emoluments clause.
Yeah.
Ted Danson.
All right.
Ted Danson's great in season 2. We are back with Richard Painter. How do you feel the suit is going?
Well, as I said, we did oral arguments last month, and we completed those, and I think very well in the courtroom. And at this point now, the judge is deliberating. We're waiting to hear back from him. But I believe we had a strong case, and I believe in the case, and I think the American people know about this.
Yeah. So did you have anyone else co-sign on with a friend of the court or other people that were with you on this case?
Amicus briefs.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So that's what it's called.
Amicus briefs.
Friends of
Friend of the court. They're the great. There are too many of those.
Too many.
Such a full load of those.
friends.
Yeah. But I joined forces for the Citizens for Responsibility Ethics watching George Bush with Norm Eisen, who was an Obama era ethics lawyer.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of this is that this is not a Republican thing or Democrat thing. This is something that's important for the country.
Now, is there anything when you were working for for George W. Bush.
Which still seems like what a good time. But a couple of years, just a couple of years ago, people really would have hated your ass. That's a real bad time. You were bad job.
Well, no, I came on toward the end of it. I came on after most of the bad stuff. So whatever you want to blame it for, that wasn't my fault.
Well, I mean,
the torture stuff, that wasn't me.
Torture stuff. Yeah. Fully willing to put all of that on Dick Cheney.
If I would have been in there and they said, blah, 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 hey, Rich Bay, what do you think about the torture? I would say, no, get out of here with this torture.
What percentage of your responses are, now get out of here with this?
That's probably a good 40 to 60%.
Yeah, I would think so.
Get the heck out of here.
Your kids?
I got a couple of kids.
So your kids come in the room and they say, hey, Dad, can I borrow the car? You say,
get out of here. You haven't proven trustworthy with the SUV. No, I don't think you can get out of the car.
What about your organization? Because, honey, we've been working very hard.
Get out of here. What do you need a vacation for? I'm on every day cable news show 4 times a day. I'm working my butt off. I don't need a vacation.
Richard,
Get out of here. I didn't ask for it.
It's Crunchberries. Captain Crunch with Crunchberries.
No, it's not fair enough.
Very old repair work to
If you can let that soak in the milk for about 45 minutes.
That's going to be really soggy.
Yeah, that's going to be safe.
eating a bunch of little sweet sponges.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be very tasty. So some of the other the reason why, as I said, the reason why you see me on the TV all the time talking about this stuff, because we've never seen a president, an administration that's just such a morass of ethics violations.
So, ethics. Ethics actually came up the other day. So, what are some ways you can know?
Well,
just it was mentioned on another episode.
Can you please
get out of here with that classy? Well, you got a moral compass. I mean, there's a rule of law. Well, that's just an internal moral compass.
What are our morals?
Yeah, hell bad.
But that's sorry.
I mean, why don't you give me a tell? Was there a particular issue that you were, that you want to ask me?
So, I sang a backup singer on an R&B album.
So you're a musician.
Yeah. Well, I was
Maybe
just
we
thinking
can
about
jam. We can jam sometime.
I'm not ultra skilled at instruments, but my voice. So I was offered. They sent me straight up. It was straight to. No, I was offered and it was straight to offer. Because I couldn't find my manager because I didn't have one.
No one wants to manage. There's no
There could be one if we just had a manager. No. So they offered me I was offered the chance to go on a cruise and sing on this cruise. Because they thought I was the lead singer.
someone your age and performing with a group. That's not a good look.
But so they thought I was the lead singer. Okay.
What? Lead singer of what?
Sorry.
You're asking all the right questions.
It was a R&B band called Soft Cell.
Oh boy.
And so they thought I was the lead singer, so they gave me the offer, and I said yes. And I was so excited, but also so nervous that the actual rest of the band, they would not. I didn't tell them. I went on this cruise alone.
As the solo performer, Soft Silk.
And I was sued for not being soft silk for lying about my contract. Was that unethical?
Yeah.
What I...
Yeah. Of course it was. You knew it at the time. Come on, you knew better than that.
Richard Banner is here. He won't even entertain that there was a quandary there. Which not regional.
But you ain't Soft Silk.
But in war.
So like Richard Banner, he's gonna strike Mark. He was so frustrated. He and Mark would oppose this soft silk.
So the thing is, Valjean has this little bread to
If
live.
we could not talk about blameless, I would be thrilled.
Here's the story.
Little girl singing that Catholic song, "You
arcade song and then is dead. So, in this case, I'm Valjean.
You like musicals, Richard Penn? I'm not too familiar with musicals, unfortunately, yeah. So you're gonna have to explain this one to me.
In this case, I needed to sing as Soft Silk in my career. So it's stealing a local.
He doesn't understand the comparison of Valjean or whoever this stupid thief is. You defrauded the cruise line for one, but you also stole money right out of your friend's pocket for two. I mean, it's illegal and unethical. I mean, every which way.
Got you on 2 counts, but one more, and you. For some context, Soft Silk, the band, they had cut out my solo. I had a few great riffs. Well, they asked me.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing for them to do if you're bad, which you objectively are.
Well, I think we can all agree that it's a complicated situation.
No. Can't agree on that. I don't agree on that one bit. No.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Okay. I mean, why don't I pose a question to you?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Talk about ethics and talk about the whole Trump situation that we're talking about. This whole dang thing. John Jr. Right? He gets the email about do you want to meet up? We got a bunch of Russians and we got some emails on Hillary Clinton. Would you like to have a meeting? And what do you think is the ethical thing to do in that situation?
I think I can tell you
yeah, it does. Yeah, that should be a Game of Thrones character.
So in that circumstance, what's the ethical thing to do? Well, I probably would pose as someone that wants to get these emails, and I would go and meet with the Russians.
No one wants to see your characters.
Well, I have a character.
I know, but it's not. Stop.
So, it's Vladimir Putin's nephew. Is my character. Well, he's just kind of a playboy who rolls around Moscow in, like, nice cars.
Okay.
And, has a lot of fun in Moscow.
His name is Igor McDonald. Is that the real name? The character's name is Igor McDonald's.
Because the idea is that
he accepts the sort of Russian history that he's interested in.
So I would probably pose as Igor McDonald's and get that information.
Okay.
And then give it to the FBI.
Okay, you give it to the FBI though. But is his intention? Does his intention remove the criminality that he's done?
Well, give me this.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess the whole thing was just he wanted to showcase his Igor McDonald. And this happened all to the enrichment. Right. Well, I mean, if you end up, if you did the meeting and then you got the information, you handed it right over to the FBI, then that's okay. That's fine. You didn't disseminate it and use it for your own purposes. That's good, but I'm still, at minimum, weirded out by your desire to take the meeting and to do the ridiculous character. Well, will that be the sort of post on the Trump presidency? At minimum, yeah, well, sure. I think a lot worse than that as well, yeah. Well, worse for sure, but at the whole enterprise dirty as a raccoon in a grease trap, and I just hope we get to the bottom of it before shit goes haywire.
What happens though if none of this sticks? If none of this, if Mueller comes back, nothing sticks, and it's just isolated with Manafort, and nothing happens. What happens to the very nature of reality?
Oh, please. Well, we got it. Richard, again, it's going to be philosophical questions that are beyond the reach of his brain. Truth is going to be truth like it was before, but, you could have a crooked guy, a criminal, get away with something for a little while, but truth's going to remain true.
Well, I found this app today that you can record your voice in it, and you record like a bunch of phrases, right? And then you can actually have it, you type out what happens in your voice.
Oh, so you record your voice
into it. You record a paragraph of stuff,
bunch of words,
and then it spits back out you saying things that you didn't say. So
wow.
Is there a way to make Igor McDonald's real? And would he be real? Would he be existence?
No one is ever going to talk to you about what is existence. Fail another philosophy class or shut the fuck up.
I mean, if I want to engage in this, but cut it off real quick, I'll just say maybe a few sentences here about. I mean, it sounds like you could create a sort of and I mean, with this technology, it would sound like that all you got to do is record a few words of it. There doesn't even have to be a body because it's all online, and then you could just type away whatever you want. It would speak whatever you want on online.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can go and do that. I guess in the same way, it's almost like a musical instrument.
Yeah.
It's like EDM, but with talking.
Well, talking. It's like talking-based EDM. And I get worried about all the background out there. That they're going to be out of jobs because of technology.
Well, like you are. I'm sick of jobs,
Yeah.
right? Is Soft Silk, is that still a going concern?
They still are a band, but I'm not welcome.
Okay, you got muscled out after the cruise ship.
I lost them tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah, I think
how do you do it? Did you end up doing any performances at the cruise ship? Is that once a week or is it
2 weeks? You were there for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
26 performances a week.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
You did about four shows a day.
About 4 shows a day. It was really good. It was next to the casino, so it was mostly people resting. Bit of lost focus.
How'd you like living on a cruise ship for 2 weeks?
I got very deep. I just wanted to get a cabin. But I made some
Really? The magicians?
The magicians are funny people. They're fun. I tried to do magic, but I just didn't have the dexterity in my fingers.
Yeah.
We got those fat fingers. I can't really keep your hands just.
No one invited you to sort of, take a little hand.
So you were on the Trump bandwagon at some point. At some point, you jumped off. Is that something?
Yeah.
What was the turning point for you then?
When my youngest daughter said, "What?" It was after
the Paris Hilton talk.
It was actually around the Paris Hilton talk because they, you know.